All right, we got
We're good?
audio. Hello, everyone. Yeah, we're sorry about game one. We lost it. We don't have it, but
It's lost to time.
we are. Yeah, we'll
I
figure
mean,
it out.
sometimes
Figure
that's
something
just
out.
how it be, right? Unfortunately, it was one of those bugs where it just the replay stops in the middle of the game. We weren't able to get back into game. We are not going to be able to find it. Uh, we could find a way to, necro it from the grave some other day, but for now, we're gonna have to deal with the fact that Sean went 10-4 on Mordekaiser mid.
Call it a Sean V9. Yeah, the Mordekaiser mid, most gold in the game, probably the most damage up there in CS. 10-4. Hey, I called it, right? I'll take props for this. He was 1-0, and I said this guy's the guy. He's gonna do it, right? And he did it. We don't get to see what he did, but he did it somehow, somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, Metashift, we were talking about that earlier, right? Where we said, all right, well, the big question here is, can Mordekaiser get to level 6 without too much trouble? And to his credit, got to level 6, hadn't died a single time, immediately gets a kill and runs away with it. Or so it looks like. And you look at the damage graphs, and Ziggs topping that damage chart as anticipated. You got Ziggs into 4 meatballs really, if you count the support Poppy. So that should be very, very high. But the question is, can Ziggs actually find the kills? And if we look at the scores, we realize there wasn't so much killing going on the side of Dorado.
Yeah, I mean, props to, I think it's DOV Ice on the Ziggs, or Arcs, they were calling them in the chat, putting out all that damage. Unfortunately, I think this Mordekaiser was too big, and probably found a way on top of that Ziggs AD carry, and took Monkey's Cancun to victory. But it's an even damage spread for all of the Monkeys. I mean, like, everyone did their part. Even the Poppy support is doing quite a bit of damage, so a team effort for sure.
That's quite a bit of damage on the support, all things considered. But I also gotta say, right, remember that Conqueror is the only league in Titan that is not running the Fearless draft. So this Mordekaiser mid is still on the table for the upcoming games.
True. It's definitely ban option. I would say it's probably going to be banned. But are they missing bans? Is that what they only were able to ban Wukong?
Yes, they are missing 2 bans currently due to some rule shenanigans when it comes to how many ranked games you're able to play, or you have been able to play. But either way, you know, at the very least, they managed to take the monkey away from the monkeys, and the monkeys respond by getting very, very upset and apparently killing the stream. My bad, y'all.
New patch, who this, Riot. Sometimes the spectator gets a little buggy after the first patch, and you can't get back in. We tried our best, couldn't figure it out, but hopefully game 2 we won't have any issues.
Yeah, game 2, set 2 of the week, and yeah, we got hella stats over here. We can see exactly who we got the stats from. But you know, all things considered.
Seraphine, who's that? Maze? Thank you, Maze.
I believe that is Maze.
Appreciate.
Yeah, appreciate the stats. Thank you, Maze. But yeah, as we said before, right, pretty even damage spread. The crowd control, pretty dang high from the bot lane of the monkeys. Meanwhile, on the other side, Talia with topping the charts on CC on the other side. Actually, a little bit surprised that it's Talia and not the Rakan, because there's only so many dashes that you can really be paying attention to. I'm pretty sure that Skarner E... Does Skarner E work on Talia's E?
Yeah, Skarner E is not a dash, so he should just be able to go right over it.
Yeah, I know he can't be slowed during it, but I know he's not completely unstoppable.
He gets canceled by grounds and silences, though. So, like, Miasma stops him, and so does, like, Soraka silence, I'm fairly certain. So,
but wait, Poppy W surely doesn't?
Yeah, I don't think Poppy W works, even though I guess it's not really
Skarner's, a ground. Skarner is a Skarner, you know, he's a crab, he does his own little thing, right? Whether or not he's running around the map sideways or slamming people into walls, that's his prerogative. Either way, we're gonna get into game number 2, and honestly, one thing I want to see from the side of Dorado, right, is not just, you know, hey, these are good picks, these are good combinations together. I want to see a composition where all 5 members put together and you immediately know what every single person wants, and they do coincide with one another. Like, for example, here we had a phenomenal 2v2 when it came to mid and jungle. We had a very solid, you know, combo in that bot lane. When you got that Retcon, you got that Ziggs. The Aatrox was kind of there, right? You know, it's not like Aatrox is a bad pick by any means, and he was expecting to be playing into that Mordekaiser, but Now that you know Mordekaiser mid's on the table, you're gonna have a lot more counter picking and shenanigans that you're gonna have to go through.
Yeah, one last thing about those game one stats. The Rakan on the losing team, which I believe is number 17 there,
Hmm.
XVII, did not die at all. Was basically their solo engage, but didn't die, which means Mordekaiser never ulted him. Poppy, maybe Poppy W just stopped him from going in, so he never really actually went in. It's kind of crazy to sit there. Your whole team has 7 deaths and you're losing the game, but you've never died. It's unfortunate we don't get to see what actually happened.
Hear me
Um,
out. What if 17's just sick with it, right? Like,
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like everyone's losing, but you're not dying, so that's pretty cool. I'm
that's fair.
assuming you're
That's
still
fair.
playing the game. You got to play the game. So, um, yeah, I'm interested to see how that played out. Maybe they just ignored the recon. It's probably what happened.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think a lot of it was likely that Poppy as a champion does so much to neuter Rakan, right? If Rakan just walks up and ulties, Poppy can ult him
Got Poppy
away.
ulted every time.
Yeah, it could be the Poppy ulti, steadfast presence, make sure that Rakan can't hit you with that with that W. And there's just so much that Poppy as a champion does to stop the Rakan. And when you were playing against monkeys and you only have, 3 bans total to work with, it gets so much harder to take away those specific counter picks there. One thing I'm still very surprised with, the fact that they took Rel and Leona off the table when those are two very common picks. I think those are the two best in slot picks when you're playing Ziggs bot lane.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, also they might have regrets of if they were gonna go Rakan, leaving Poppy up. Poppy
Yeah.
support is still pretty good and really only counters a few champions. So, but
And
it looks
it
like
hella counters Rakan.
yeah, yeah, exactly. But I'm ready for game two. Let's send it on game two.
We're gonna have to see what things do come across in game number 2 as we go over to draft. And now that draft is started, we are seeing the monkeys on blue side once again, so I'm expecting to see the misfortune ban because we saw that on blue side the first time. The Skarner ban gonna be coming out.
That's their
It was
start.
the monkeys who picked Skarner last time,
Mhm.
so interesting. So I guess the Skarner was more of a takeaway rather than something of a comfort pick. Ambessa being taken off the table by Dorado. Oh,
Okay,
we are
then
getting a
our
side
time to
swap.
go. There we go.
Okay, we are getting a side swap. We are getting the bans back into
All
place
the bands
here.
are back. Awesome.
So because of that, we do realize that we're likely not getting the Wukong ban. That's a lot of jungle bans. Hold on.
Yeah. This is crazy. From oh,
All right, so we're getting word from production that these are not the picks or bans that happened in the draft. We're going to get a little bit more of a fix over there. Sorry, it's a little bit of a scuffed night, but we're still happy to have you.
I'm cool. I'm cool with everything. If they want to ban Ambessa, that's fine. If they want to ban their own Skarner and then switch sides, it's cool with me, man. If they want to restart draft, that's all fine, man. I'm just here. We're here.
Yeah, you're
We're
just
hanging
a
out.
chill guy.
Yeah. We'll cast it no matter what it says. I'll read that
Hmm.
teleprompter. Call me Ron Burgundy. Like um
Oh my, can you imagine if there was a teleprompter for casting?
you don't have one? They didn't, I'm reading right
Oh,
off the screen. Wait, why does
oh
it say that right
no.
now?
Oh man.
That would be cool.
That
That would
would
make
be
it easier.
funny. Like, but it would also be so funny to think of like Faker, what was that? Being on a teleprompter?
Well, we get AI to tell me the ability names and what's actually happening on screen instead of me having to use my own eyes. That'd be easy. That'd be
Oh
nice.
lord.
Oh, so it looks like
Oh
the
no.
bans might still be gone for Dorado. They skip and ban one.
Perhaps. Yeah,
Sure.
skip and ban one.
Okay, so we do see the MF again.
All right, so there is that misfortune. Okay, so I will say on red side makes a lot of sense, right? Like misfortune being banned when you're on red, we'll take it. Blue side misfortune ban still doesn't really make so much sense in my brain. I do think that we're going to still see the Wukong ban coming in from Dorado because that's what we saw the last time. But who knows? Maybe they just look to steal it away instead.
Seraphine. So yeah, maybe
Okay.
a first pick Mordekaiser, or it wasn't really the Mordekaiser we think, but maybe it
Maybe it's
was.
because, the Sarah Death Ball composition really is
Yeah.
what made things crazy.
Oh, but the monkeys are banning Skarner despite uh, being the ones piloting it last game. So we were right about
Yeah,
that,
I
even
mean,
though it was an accident.
yeah, I will say that I do think that Skarner is a ridiculously good champion that you can just blind pick no matter what. And now, with the Cassante first pick blind, it's got me wondering either Trouble Killer just really, really, really expects the Cassante to go crazy with it, or this is final pick order and not, draft pick order. But now that we see the Wukong picked up by Terps, I'm pretty dang certain that is not a Karma jungle. This is certainly draft order.
I love the monkeys like read on the meta, right? I think Karma is disgusting right now. I didn't really get to say it before first game, but I think Karma is probably one of the best champions, with mid being like a 55% win rate, maybe a little less, and even support. But Karma's great, and it's because of Axiom Arcanist is like the real reason. She's like back with the Malignance Axiom Arcanist. Yeah, I mean she has a heal, she has a shield, she has damage.
The shields, the damage, like literally anything that you can get your hands on. I will also say, I'm not the biggest fan of AP Karma in the support position. When it comes to support, I much rather prefer just throw on that Dreammaker, just build a bunch of support items. Like, it's not like she can't shield things, and she does a hell of a lot of shielding. We see the Amumu come out, so we already know that we're going to be getting a huge amount of AoE coming in from Dorado Gaming Iota. Meanwhile, on the other side, there's that Mordekaiser that we saw in that last game. But now, Dorado say, we see the Mordekaiser, we know it's probably going to be mid lane, so what in the world do you pick into it?
Yeah, I honestly hate Cassante and Amumu just like into Mordekaiser. Like they know the Mordekaiser's coming, right? I feel like Mordekaiser can definitely survive against Cassante and eventually beat him in the 1v1. But Amumu is like hates Mordekaiser. It's his worst enemy. You go in, you get Mordekaiser all that you can't do Amumu things. I don't know.
Ooh, the Zeri coming on out here. And if I remember correctly, I believe Maze plays a hell of a lot of Zeri. So, seeing the Zeri make an entrance here should be very, very interesting, particularly into the Ezreal, as now you got two champions who basically all of their damage is coming in from those Qs. But now Ahri, very, very safe. Should be a lot harder for Mordekaiser to get on top of her. But with that counter pick, we're saving it all the way for last. It is the Mordekaiser top and the Victor in the mid lane.
Wow. I mean, I can still see it being Victor top, but it's probably well, it could also be like Zeri top, let's be honest. I'm surprised to not see Sean on the Mordekaiser. I guess we'll find out in the game if it's actually Sean on the Mordekaiser, but yeah, I mean, Victor's a solid R5 here. I think it does well into a lot of those champions.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, there we see it. Terps now going to be the one on the Mord, and gotta say, Mord into Cassante, one of those matchups where it is just a big pool noodle fight for a long, long time. But both these guys have hella tankiness, so they should be able to stay in these fights for absolutely forever. Now, when it comes to the actual compositions here, right, monkeys don't quite have the same level of death ball that they had in that last game. Like before, it was something closer to what we would call an Exodia composition, where you just have all 5 members run at you all at once. You're really, really scary. You got tons of heals, tons of shields from the Seraphine, tons of lockdown, all that fun stuff. Meanwhile, on the other side, Dorado Gaming Iota pretty much have themselves a very solid composition that can all play together. You actually do have that primary engage in that Amumu and the secondary follow-up from the Rel. You don't just sit there and be like, please, I hope to God that Rakan gets one crazy Rakombo or something like that. But now you got more go buttons on the side of Dorado.
Yeah, I'm looking at Dorado though, and I'm seeing a lack of damage into Karma shields. They don't really have they don't really have someone who can successfully get away with building serpents, and I think that might hurt them a lot. You're talking about the support build for Karma. I'm thinking, the Dream Bubble with the big shields coming from Axiom Arcanist, like this Karma is going to be a problem. They're a huge AoE team fight go in button, but it's low damage. I think Ari, Ezreal are not big damage dealers, and even Cassante is more of a DPS. So
I feel
I don't
that.
know. I think the Monkeys have 3 S tier champions, and Dorado's only got 2. And the comp, I'm leaning towards Monkeys.
Who knows? I mean, you could always count on a really well-timed rel Q for that Shattering Strike to just go crazy. But
True.
I mean, we're gonna have to see how it plays out on the Rift itself as we hop into game number 2. Hopefully not gonna be having too much issues on Riot side this time around, but as we get into the rest of the map here. Oh, a quick back here.
What did we forget?
A
Health pots?
a potion, maybe? I don't know.
We recall for health pot. So a 4-point versus a 5-point. Well.
Okay, we do recall for the health pot. Okay.
Oh, actually, yeah, it's 52% there on the draft. 53 almost. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that's honestly relatively close in terms of the composition, especially in comparison to what we did see in that last game. I will say, I would not be too surprised to see the Ezreal pick up a Serpent's Fang, maybe 3rd item, 4th item. It could definitely happen. If we want to get super crazy with it, one of the tanks picking up Serpent's Fang would be really funny because it will proc on all damage. So if you have Unending Despair and then Serpent's Fang, you actually do manage to proc it on the entire team.
That is cool. That's definitely some sort of niche thing that might be worth it. I don't know.
I've seen it happen once with a tank Rek'Sai, where the Rek'Sai went like 5th item Serpent's Fang.
I do want to say, for anyone who's just joining in, we didn't really get to stream that first game, but we do have Dorado Gaming Iota versus Monkeys Cancun, and the Monkeys are up 1-0 in this series. It's a best of 3. This is not Fearless. Welcome, and hopefully we get to make it through this entire game. You know.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we hope. That's what we always hope. Yeah, but either way, we're just gonna have to see how things do go. Nezmi having a much more fun time in the Mage v Mage matchup, it seems. I mean, that's a lot of damage being traded on back and forth already, but at the very least, it's not going to be the Mordekaiser in that mid lane that's just waiting and ready for that level 6 all-in.
Yeah, both junglers starting top side, going to be pathing down, which means as we see these top laners battling it out, they're probably going to be left alone on their island, and they're just going to keep trading back and forth until inevitably maybe we'll get a first blood up there, or we'll get some action down below. Hard to gank the Ezreal Zeri lane, to be honest, but if Maze and Metal keep pushing up like this, that's where I would look if I was Poom.
I mean, one thing I will also say, right? We are seeing the Wukong in the mid lane. Hold on.
Yeah, Discrepancy's going to dash in, get some nice damage onto Nezumi, but Sean's not really going to be able to follow up on that, so it's just some drive-by damage that helps out, give Sean the health advantage in the lane.
Yeah, some drive-by damage, and what I was anticipating from Discrepancy was an invade onto the Amumu, because as we can see, the Amumu clearing relatively, not so healthily, right? It's not so slow, but oh wow, Nezumi in a lot of trouble already.
Yeah, Sean actually just bullies Nezumi so much, denies the cannon, and that health advantage is actually just insane for the Victor. And Victor, I mean, if you guys have played against Victor, have played Victor recently, all those buffs make him one of the strongest mages in those early levels.
Oh yeah, I mean, and this is post multiple Victor nerfs at this point, but I mean, that arcane buff just kind of goes crazy, I guess. But yeah, in the end, we are seeing a little bit of rotation towards this bot side of Mumu, looking at the top lane scuttle, but Discrepancy is in the ways that they do want to make something happen. Still very, very difficult to actually get on top of the Ezreal, though. So in the end, Nezmi and Sean just kind of going toe-to-toe. Sean out of mana, and nothing crazy going on in this bot lane. Just very slow pace game, looking to farm things up and get to the points where these champions can actually hit their power spikes.
Yeah, I like what Poom's doing right now. Able to find an invade on those Raptors. It was Discrepancy who took the scuttle before... Oh, no. That's scary. Ooh. Before the Gromp. Oh boy.
Oh,
What do we want to do here?
I don't know. We'll have to see.
It's not production, by the way. It's just the spectator client. So this happens pretty often on new patches for anyone who's listening to me. Like sometimes it'll just bug out on every game until Riot does a little hot fix for it.
Yeah, I mean, speaking as someone who has done a bunch of production for this game, uh, there literally isn't anything that the producers can do sometimes. It's actually just a Riot moment, but we shall see.
Yeah, we'll try some of our fixes. We're gonna probably cut to an intermission. Hopefully, you can pull raffles or do something to get you guys some action.
All right, all right. So it might look like we had something crazy going on here, but instead it is Titan Production 1 and Riot Games Moment also 1. So, you know, we're winning. We're not winning, but we're not losing the best of 3 just yet. And neither is Dorado, as they did manage to pick up that first blood. They are in the lead by, you know, 400 gold. And Ari getting that first kill onto Nezmi getting that first kill onto Sean is a very, very good sign for them.
Yeah, can we get a replay for that? It looks like we don't have the replay. That's crazy. Yeah, it looks like
No way.
It's a joke.
Okay, all things considered, though, let's just take a quick look at the position that we have ourselves in. So Maze right now on the Zeri has been able to just free farm, and we're getting a little bit frisky in the mid lane.
That's one of the 2 Qs that Amumu has. Gonna force the flash out of Metal. Lands both bandage tosses. Metal's on the run.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised that we didn't have the flash follow from Nezmi, unless maybe it might be a little bit of a spectator bug, but I'm pretty sure that Ari did have the flash up. I guess was
Ooh,
just not sure what
17.
he
Middle
worth.
flashless and a flash
Oh,
bandage toss by Poom. We'll get the second blood. That's 2 of 3 for the feats. Dorado Gaming Iota coming in hot. Game 2, they're down 1-0. They gotta come in hot here.
yeah, and I gotta say, Metashift. So remember how we said that Monkeys Cancun was the team that hasn't dropped a single game yet? Dorado has dropped a game in the past, but they still ended up winning that series. So I guess they really are a best of 3 team, you know, just throw one game away for content. This time, we didn't really get so much content out of that game, but we're just going to have to see what actually does come of it. The Ezreal and Zeri just kind of getting their standard farming into one another here. Nothing too crazy going on between these two champions. I do think that this does tend to benefit the Zeri quite a bit more, because if she can get to those mid-game fights, it gets really, really tough.
Yeah, we do have an all-in and top lane. Trouble Killer going all out on Terps. Terps gonna pull him into the realm of death. We will see if this Mordekaiser wins it. No, just kidding. We're gonna see Curse of the Sad Mummy for a 3rd kill there in the mid lane, and it's Terps healing right before falling to death. Discrepancy showing up here to maybe avenge that death. Gonna use the Cyclone. Has a 2nd Cyclone available under turret. Gonna flash for it and will get the avenge kill on the Cassante. But yeah, I mean, it's the 3 kills. First 3 kills go over to Dorado Iota.
Yeah, first 3 kills going over to Dorado, which does mean that they pick up that feat of warfare there. And also, one thing to note, Nezumi did manage to end up burning that flash, managed to catch the clone though, not actually catching Discrepancy there. But either way, we're just gonna have to see what things do develop from here. How does Dorado play with a lead, considering how much, you know, Monkeys Cancun just ran away with that last game?
So a few things that happened while we were gone, as I look, right? Both grubs, so 6 grubs secured for Dorado. 1 dragon, first dragon for the Monkeys, as they're trying to pick up the 2nd Drake right now. So it will be 2-2 on objectives, I believe. And then we did talk about CS a little bit, as some fighting's going on in the bot lane. Ice is diving. So let's figure this out. There's a Rel ultimate. 17's gonna pull in Metal. It's kind of a 2v2 because Zeri's gone. Maze had to leave this fight. Ice trying to get that poke in as Discrepancy and Metal are gonna run down this Rel. 17, you might be dead. 17 will fall. And no avenge kill. So it's just a free kill on the enemy support. But they did get Zeri Flash.
Relatively free kill right there, but Poom coming on in, just making sure that nothing in this life is free. And Dorado just kind of running away with this one, 5-2, but you can't exactly pick up multiple warfare feats. You're gonna have to find more ways how to do so, you know, whether it be through those objectives, through that first tower. But I will say Monkeys Cancun have a solid amount of damage on that bot tower, so I'm guessing that it wouldn't be too surprising if the Monkeys came out on top over there.
Yeah, I mean, that's a 3-0 Amumu. They do have a Mordekaiser R button for the Amumu, but right now, as it looks, even with the 20 CS lead and the frozen screen, this Mordekaiser
Cristo, Dios mío.
is losing some of these trades in the top lane. Hopefully, this isn't a constant reoccurring issue. We'll see. I'm going to check from production. What's the move? What's the answer? Is it over? Is it Jover?
All right, we'll just relay race it. But either way, so we do have a few workarounds, so we might be able to get past this little issue here. But in the meantime, you know, thank you for your patience in the audience. It's been a bit of a long night for quite a few of us. Riot just kind of throwing hands. But I will say, right, at the very least, in that top lane, Cassante getting that early kill, very, very solid for Trouble Killa. But the moment that the Rylai's is completed, it gets very, very difficult to actually play into this Mordekaiser in that long lane. Because if Mord can get on top of you once, he can make sure you can't leave. And Cassante really, really enjoys taking those not short trades, but middle of the pack trades. Like if it goes super long, he's not too happy. Something a little bit in between, as long as you can dump that third Q in there.
Oh, we do got some spoilers. Stream went down as soon as the monkeys made a big play. Well, where's this big play? I don't see it. I want to see it. We'll see if we can figure that out for everybody. Hopefully we can bring that up.
All right. All right,
Okay,
so
cool.
here we go. Just gonna get straight into the swing of things here as we're getting loaded in on the other side as well.
Yeah, it was 5-2, now 5-3. We have Ice and 17 diving onto Maze here. Looks like Maze is in some trouble. Here the flash play from the Rel and the dismount to take Maze down. It's gonna be Rel picking up the kill, but now Discrepancy is on top of them. And as they are trying to leave, Boom's gonna try to save Ice, misses the first bandage toss. Discrepancy gets the kill. Boom now in some trouble, gets knocked up by the Cyclone. Sean is here, Curse of the Sad Mummy to delay, but they're still running Poom down. Nezumi goes in, trying to save my jungler, but can't. Another Spirit Rush, but it's the last one. Discrepancy with another kill.
Yeah, and just like that, you know, it's just a classic moment of the controversial one at a time strategy where you pop yourself in, you say, all right, you know what, I got this, I can help, I can make sure that my team's in a good position, and each and every time the enemy team just kind of runs over you and it just does not quite work out here. But we're time traveling a bit further forward into the future where Trouble Killa is dropping down yet
We didn't miss
again.
much. It was 6-6. Now it's 7-7.
Yeah, I mean, didn't miss so much. As we do know, Dorado did pick up the feat. Whether or not it was the feat, you know, the objective feat or the tower feat, we're not 100% certain. But we'll have to see how the game itself develops as time goes on. Both bot laners have been very, very stable, just kind of farming up, nothing too crazy going on. Meanwhile, all of the action has just been focused into that jungle, right? Amumu started this game off very, very happy and is a little bit less happy now.
Yeah, the Rift Herald was secured by Dorado. The third Dragons, they're on 3 Drakes right now, secured by the Monkey. So they're looking to get their Dragon Soul here shortly, coming up in 2 minutes. It's literally right around the corner. A 22-minute Dragon Soul is kind of crazy if they're able to do it. And it's Discrepancy with the 4 kills, and even Metal on the Karma with 2 kills, kind of showing off on the leaderboard there. Keep an eye on that. I mean, this Wukong, we saw him run down and get all those kills in that last fight. And even though it's tied up 7-7, I mean, it's the Monkeys' game right now.
Yeah, it's the Monkeys' game, and it's in the pocket of the Monkey player here. Discrepancy just kind of going crazy with the Wukong, showing off exactly why it was the singular champion that was banned away by Dorado in game number 1. But now, in game number 2, they do let the Monkey through. They say, all right, well, you know what? We can pick up our counter picks. We can pick up exactly what we need for the team. And I'm not too sure how much of it has been working out, but at the very least, they have themselves about 1,000 gold in the lead.
Yeah, we see this little trade going on in the mid lane, and Nezumi is not having that much fun into the Victor. This Victor is scaled to 21 minutes, but oh, it's an all-in Spirit Rush. Nezumi misses the charm, but there's the Rel ulti and dismount on 2. But Discrepancy has showed up, and we talked about how big this Wukong is. Curse of the Sad Mummy to try to stop this Wukong, but Discrepancy gonna help pick up 2 kills for the monkeys and maybe a third. Sean does get the stun under turret on 17, who goes down. Discrepancy got low but survives, and it's just Ice on the side. Oh, Trouble Killer also rotating, but I don't think they're gonna be able to do anything here.
Yeah, and in the end, the monkeys just playing so well together. It just seems like while they haven't built themselves another one of those Exodia compositions, they still play together as if they are on one of those Exodia compositions. You just take 3, 4 of your champions, throw them into a lane and say, all right, we're skirmishing, fight us. I dare you to. And each time Dorado steps up and tries to make something happen, the monkeys just punish them unbelievably hard for it.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the 3-0 Amumu, but now I see second item Thornmail, and I'm just wondering if this Amumu should have went for something a little bit more damage heavy, or maybe it's just the champion's not as strong anymore. But I thought potentially that Amumu would be a deciding factor in these fights, but it just seems like the fights are going the way of the monkeys. 17 gonna Hex Flash over the wall. The monkeys are trying to secure their Dragon Soul. A charm misses, charms down for a second. The monkeys are poked out slightly. Dragon down to 2,000, 2.5. Discrepancy's trying to finish it off. It's going to be stolen. The smite goes over to Poom, and the engage. Curse the Sad Mummy only on 1, but Sean is up close and personal. The Rel engage land on 3 in the back line, but that's not where the fight is. The fight is on Discrepancy. Trouble Killer might be able to 1v1 the monkey. Meanwhile, the rest of the monkeys are trying to kill everyone else, and they will. And eventually Discrepancy will go down, but now it's Cassante and Ezreal against 4, Trouble Killer and Ice, the last 2 standing yet again. As I think the monkeys are going to come out on top. Get the Mordekaiser damage. Oh, they will take down the Mordekaiser. Ice will take down the Zeri. Ice says, no, we can win this 2v4. Somebody left, and Ice about to get another kill. Ended off with the ulti, the True Shot Barrage. And it's a winning fight and a stolen dragon for Dorado. They are not done yet in this game.
Yeah, they're not done yet. They constantly have to find ways to claw their way back into these fights, into these victories, but they're finding these fights and victories there. Now, so much of that was Trouble Killer taking Discrepancy away from that fight, saying, all right, I'm just going to zero out this Wukong. I'm going to make sure that he doesn't get a chance to play the game here. And because of that, Ice in the backline, able to just fire off Mystic Shot after Mystic Shot, and the True Shot Barrage at the very end of it to fully complete that one, as well as this Ezreal has shown off so much. You know, not only is it the player comfort, but also the player strength here. Maze could be in trouble.
Yeah, we do have the big engage. It's the Curse of the Sad Mummy into the dismount, into the Magnetic Storm, and it's just going to be a 2-man burst. They're going to take down Terps and Maze right away. And now Ice off to the side getting engaged on by Discrepancy. This Wukong may take down Discrepancy, but it's Nezumi going down first. Under turret, Discrepancy trying to finish off Ice. 14. 17's going to save him. Whatever number that is in the Roman numerals is trying to save him, but Discrepancy does pick up the kill and is on the run. Poom and Trouble Killer will hopefully be able to find him. He's doing some monkeying around here in the bushes.
Oh?
Oh?
Alco Gaming? Oh, not quite.
Finally finish him off, and maybe they'll be able to secure Otacon.
Yeah, maybe. Otacon does take quite a bit of time to actually take down, and you can see that their resists are going down quite a bit. Metal's just right on the side trying to say, like, hey, you know, I am still watching you. I still do want to make something happen. I'm not sure if Dorado can actually fully complete this one, but I gotta say, the fact that Discrepancy was allowed to just walk right past 17 to just get right on top of Ice and just stay there the absolute entire time here. And now we're getting even more and more of the commitment from everyone on the map, but no jungler means no shot of a steal.
Yeah, Otacon stolen. It is the GA withdrawal Otacon, so they don't really care if they die here. Trouble Killer going to not lose the shutdown, but will fight to the death. And withdrawal. And, you know, they lose 2 to the withdrawal, but they secure the Otacon, and they might be able to reset and use these little mini GAs for their next push. Dorado seemingly has the momentum here, and I mean, it's the 7-kill Cassante that I'm looking at, right? It's Trouble Killer is doing so much and has been a problem since getting that kill in the top lane, it seems like.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, one thing I'm a little bit interested in is the build path, because a lot of the times when we do see Cassante into these, heavy magic damage DPS top laners, it's the Kanik Rookern first. But this time around, it was actually the MR version of that Sunfire cape first, and then the Unending Despair, and then back onto the Kanik Rookern. So we're kind of like, flip-flopping between new builds and old builds, but in the end, it seems like the only thing that isn't flip-flopping in this game is how much work Trouble Killer has been putting into these fights, because man is a ridiculous monster on that front line, a threat to the back line at all times, and in the end, Dorado have found themselves one player that they can really rally around in this game.
Yeah, and it's really hard to play Cassante without Iceborne Gauntlet. Speaking of builds, but it's Nezumi face checking Sean, gonna go down. The withdrawal available, so they get what, 200 gold for the kill. But I mean, definitely a little bit of a misplay there, face checking and get punished for it. And the dragon is spawning in 10 seconds, so it looks like the monkey's gonna make a play here. Discrepancy over the wall with the Cyclone finds the engage on both. Ice is on the run, but it's going to be 17 going down first. Discrepancy might be able to finish off Ice off to the side. 17 actually survives for now. Will die to the Zeri Chain Lightning. And a withdrawal there in the mid lane. It looks like the monkeys are up 5-3. Someone just withdrawed. They will be back. So it's going to be a 5v4 advantage here for the monkeys for their Dragon Soul. And it is Infernal Soul.
Yeah, I mean, huge fight. Going to be able to put them in the position for the soul there. So much of the time when you get Voracious Otacon, it's basically a free realm to pick up whatever big objectives on the map next. But this is not what we're seeing here.
Yeah, this is not contestable because Poom was not back from the withdrawal. So the monkeys do secure their Dragon Soul, and they're not going to take the fight. They are going to walk away with that reward. So Soul secured. Will this Infernal Soul win them the game? And is Baron a free objective right now for Dorado?
Yeah, I'm sure that Dorado is looking to just take this Baron here. The big question is, can they do it without getting heavily punished in return? Discrepancy doesn't quite yet have the Cyclone available, but Terps, most importantly, does not have Death Realm available either. The Baron's already down to half here, and 17's right on the wings trying to make something happen.
Yeah, it's going to be an engage from Dorado. Poom's looking for something. Curse the Sad Mummy doesn't find really anyone. And now 17's on the run. Trouble Killer's on the run. All out, not available for the Cassante. And the monkeys are about to run over this one. They're running everybody down. They have the Infernal Soul, and they might be able to get the Baron for themselves now.
Yeah, the monkeys managed to catch out Dorado, just stepping a little bit too far for a little bit too long. But here comes Ice and 17, and it's another team fight.
Yeah, Dorado's just trying to salvage what is seemingly a lost game. These two throws back-to-back are so detrimental. They're going to lose Soul and Baron. And Ice just wants to try to poke with them and bother them, but there's really nothing to come of it. Maybe Ari could TP in, but I don't think Nezumi's really going to be able to do much. So it's the double buffs. It's Infernal Soul and Baron.
Yeah, we've got one of the strongest of the temporary buffs on the side of the monkeys, but we've got also on top of that one of the strongest permanent buffs on the side of the monkeys. Voracious Otacon really only gets you so far, because that as a buff is what you usually use to guarantee that you can get yourself some of those more permanent buffs, right? You finish the Otacon, you force a 5v5 fight. As long as you can get 2 kills in that fight, you have a guaranteed 5v3 for the next objective. But that's not what we saw from Dorado. Instead, we saw them nabbing the Voracious Otacon and then just kind of sitting on their laurels, not really doing too much past that. Trouble Killer walking in could be looking to fight Terps, but there's really not much incentive to go for this.
Well, Trouble Killer and Poom and 17 are there.
Okay, well.
And it's Terps who's getting, 1v or 4v1 there and getting caught out. I think I kind of also was like looking at that backwards. Was Terps invading their Grump? That might have been wrong place, wrong time. But Ice also kept following Metal and might pick up a second kill for Dorado here. 17 might be
Oh,
able to hand
shattering
that over.
strike.
Oh, yep. Shield break. And they're still going. Discrepancy gets low. Maze and Discrepancy now on the run. Oh my god, some misplays here for the Monkeys. And they are forced to kind of give up their Baron push momentum as 2 members get picked. And their jungler has to take a recall.
Yeah, I mean, one early pick, which I thought to myself, you know, it wasn't really going to be so important because there weren't any huge objectives up quite then. Turns into way more than just a singular kill. Instead, it's turning into a full tower, might even turn into an imhib tower at this point, as once again the Monkeys on the back foot. That Baron really not turning into much of an advantage as far as the map state goes. Instead, if we did have one of those, you know, Baron gold counters, I would wager to say that was a negative Baron power play.
They might still have some time left, but yeah, they are.
Maze ulti.
Oh, Zeri ult. Oh, I see. They are taking a breather and they are resetting, which I think is correct. They might be able to pick up in response the opposing mid tier 2 with the rest of their Baron push, but it is a 5-on-5 here in the mid lane. Anti, question for you. I mean, I'm looking at Zeri, Karma, Shields, Victor scaling, like even just Mordekaiser late game ulting Amumu. Who outscales here? I'm leaning towards the Monkeys, but I'm wondering if you see it differently.
I mean, honestly, I do understand that idea that, you know, the Monkeys will outscale. I think that the Monkeys will be outscaling if it's a fair fight. Now, Dorado have a phenomenal composition at making those early picks, at making sure that they do not actually get any of those fair fights. If Poom can get it onto that backline, if Trouble Killer can, you know, zone out one high value target like the Wukong, then you can make sure that you're not getting any of those fair fights. And until Maze fully completes that last Whisper item, we're really not going to have so much of the damage coming in from the Zeri. If Dorado can force a fight before that last Whisper actually finishes in the completed item, whether it's the Mortal Reminder, whether it's the Lord Dominic's Regards, it'll be really important to the upcoming fights here, because Zeri loses so much of her damage without that.
A little bit of poke there from Metal and the Karma, the Mantra Q. I kind of just like gasping here, like, are we really gonna flip the game at Elder right here for the game? But the Elder is spawning in 20 seconds. Metal trying to put down some more poke. Discrepancy on a flank, but might be getting caught. Has the clone available. Does not use it yet. You can see a little bit of
you gotta be so careful.
Yep.
Terps on that front line. Nezumi, so much damage.
Oh, and this is the trigger. Monkeys want to go in now. Terps has not used the ultimate yet, but it's going to be Trouble Killer now eating some of that poke. Getting stunned up into the Victor field. And Trouble Killer is going to go down as the Cyclone comes through. It's Discrepancy's the first one to pull the trigger. There's finally the Curse of the Sad Mummy. But since the Monkeys go first, they're going to be the first ones to get the kills. They take down 2. They get the turret as well. And it's 5 against 3 for this Elder. But a lot of ultimates were expended almost. I mean, they were all used.
Yeah, I mean, they might have all been used, but most crucially, Poom going down here means that there's essentially 0 chance at a steal. Dorado, if they do want to fight at the Elder, just have to look for a fight. You cannot be looking for a steal here, but I think this is the correct choice. Just drop the dragon, shove the waves, make sure that the enemy team can't get nearly as much out of this buff as they want to, and just stop the fights. Don't let anything else happen, and play towards waiting out the Elder Dragon. But right now, Monkeys
with a flank on ice. It's not going to be lethal, but I like the move. I really want to see a Mantra Q for it's support Karma, but I want to see Mantra Q with the Infernal buff and the Elder just kill someone. I really do. I don't know why. It's so like it hurts.
Maybe it was AP.
Maybe
if it was AP. But, you know, thankfully, for my own sanity, Metal is going the correct Karma build. I mean, Karma, especially on a team like this, just facilitates so much of that death ball sort of composition that we know Monkeys loves to play. So I would be very surprised to see anything other than full heal shield support Karma, and that's exactly the kind of Karma that we're getting.
Oh, we do have Sean TPing into the center of multiple enemy members there, but does have the Banshee's Veil and will get out. But now Poom's going to be getting engaged on, and without the Amumu, there's no smite to contest Baron, but also this is their entire engage. It's part of their front line. As Discrepancy's looking for more, they do have the Elder. They really don't need Baron, but it is free. We'll see what the Monkeys decide to do.
Yeah, I mean, Baron seems to be the objective, just kind of pushing onto that. Turret's a little bit far forward, not quite going to be getting punished for it, as once again, because Plume is down, because the Amumu is nowhere to be found, there isn't really anyone who can actively punish the Monkeys for going for this Baron. No 50-50, no chance of a steal, and it seems like there's no hope at a victory for Dorado.
Yeah, I mean, it gets really hard. Your jungler was 3-0, and now they're 3-7, and it's an Amumu, right? And their whole job is to go in and make plays, but somehow Dorado fell into a spot where their Amumu can't really go in and make these plays. And now,
Lord,
again, getting engaged on. Discrepancy will find that kill with the Elder buff that is still active. It might be over soon. A couple, maybe 30 seconds left or so.
Yeah, I'm thinking, you know, we give it like 20 more seconds, but it was just within the amount of time needed, and a flash for a flash there means that the Ahri is down. Poom still looking for even more ways in, but we're not going to see that big fight that we're looking for.
Yeah, Poom's trying to get that engage, trying to find the angle, as Dorado is probably looking for a Hail Mary here. They have a 10k gold deficit. The Monkeys are coming in with a Baron push, and this is the Monkeys' end game here. They take down Inhibitor 1 in the mid lane. They're taking down Inhib turret top, and it's either an engage or they're just going to triple Inhib. It's either game over or triple Inhib.
Yeah, I guess it's going to be the double Inhib at the very least, right? You know, can't quite be looking for that triple Inhib until Terps gets that wave all the way in here. But I honestly don't hate this, right? You know, you don't play for the 90% play, you play for the 110% play, where you say, all right, well, this is easy. We don't have to go too crazy with it. We don't have to give any potential of a throw. And now, with all three Inhibs down, the minions walk forward, the Baron buff about to expire, but so are the chances of Dorado's comeback.
Yeah, Dorado needs to find someone overstepped and just look for something before those super minions get here. Trouble Killer and Poom already getting poked out. That's the front line. That's the engage for Dorado. Just already less than half health. What can they do here? Seemingly nothing. Will we see something? One turret goes down. The second one's about to fall. Trouble Killer and Poom go to heal. And now with no Nexus turrets available, here's the engage. 17 goes in with a Rel Storm, but the Nexus might just fall. No, there's a fight, and it's a Nexus over. I think they waited a little bit too long, but there might not have been many options there.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough, right? You're into the Baron, you're into the Infernal Soul, and you need someone to pull the trigger, but you don't want to be the reason your team loses the game. And in the end, the Monkeys going to continue with their undefeated streak. The Monkeys Cancun, with that monkey pickup, are just going to build yet another death ball composition, and whether it be the explosiveness of the team fights or the consistency of the way how they're closing out these games, you know, this team looks like the team to beat. Honestly, wouldn't be too surprised if anyone were to call that a finals preview, because both of these teams look to have some very, very solid positions. And don't forget, Dorado was coming into that with 2 eaten up bans and 2 subs.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think with those extra bans, like, does Dorado win if Mordekaiser and Wukong aren't in? I mean, this was a very close game. We didn't really see a lot of game 1, obviously, but I think these teams are both really good, and I do think Dorado could have won tonight. So we'll have to see what happens next time. I'm sure maybe these teams will run in together into each other again. Who's the MVP? Did we do that? Who is your MVP, Anti?
Honestly, if I had to say MVP, it would be Discrepancy, right? I mean, Discrepancy had so much of that gold in the early game, which turned into allowing the team to go for those deathball compositions. Because if you have a champion like Wukong have so much gold, right, very, very easy for Wukong to actually use that gold because Wukong is the go button, right? When you have that go button, when it's the go button that has all the ammunition, then you can actually make all of these fights happen. You can force all of these fights. And when you have the karma on top of it to just make sure that you always have a way to stick onto your opponents, it gets so difficult to play a fair fight.
Yeah, I think for this game, discrepancy definitely. And we got to watch this game in full. Game one, I mean, it looked like the Sean v9, right? Maybe
Yeah.
maybe Sean's the secret MVP of the series, but we didn't get to see all of that Mordekaiser mid action. But those are definitely the two carries of the night. And we'll see how their performances continue throughout the rest of the season. I think these are both streams I've done for Conqueror so far have been in Group C. I think it's Group C. I'm not sure what's going on in all the other groups right now, but I got a good taste of this side
Mhm.
of the league. So um, I'm excited to see more.
Yeah, excited to see more and excited to see more of this Titan action as we're going to be having another stream tomorrow, but that'll be it for us today. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Thank you for being patient with us as we fought tooth and nail to bring you as much of the games as we could. But either way, thank you everyone for tuning in and y'all take care.
Have a good night, everyone.